Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. So far, it's been a really awesome week with the new Mega Salamence team that we've been using this week. If you've not seen the last two episodes, I highly recommend them since I thought they were some of the best episodes we've had on Road to Rank yet. Once again, shoutouts to Lightcore VGC on Twitter, also known as Nicholas Borky, for allowing me to use his team. It's been a lot of fun, and I really enjoy some of the sets and just creativity the team has. So, we're going to jump back onto the ladder, over 1800 after reaching that mark in yesterday's episode, as we're just going to try to see how far we can go before the rankings actually reset, I believe, in around 10 or so days. So, yeah. As always, if you enjoy Road to Rank, please share your support by leaving a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Like I mentioned, I think the ratings actually reset as we find Jorge S. from Spain, Leroy Jenkins with a rating of 1803. A win here would give us a good amount of points. But yeah, rankings reset in a couple of days. I'd like to reach around 1850 or so. The last two times I think I was just over 1800, so let's see how high we can make it this time. Rain matchup here of Swampert, Scizor, Ludicolo, Terrakion, Politoed, and Talonflame. And I think it's really funny because yesterday's episode featured a lot of rain. Both games in yesterday's episode had rain, and that gave us a fair amount of trouble. Now, in yesterday's game, if you saw that one, I was inclined to bring Heatran, especially since my opponent had Bisharp, but looks like my opponent doesn't deal with Intimidate nearly as well, so I feel like the rain matchup is slightly improved here. Mega Swampert, though, being the Mega Evolution of my opponent's team, presumably, though Scizor could also be the Mega, looks like a pretty big threat, so I'm probably going to want to rely on Intimidate and maybe Redirection from Clefairy here. For example, I think Salamence and Clefairy is actually a really strong lead right from the start, but let's see what else I might want to potentially lead with. I'm really leaning towards that. I don't feel like anything else is offensive enough, especially if my opponent decides to, for example, lead with a Terrakion. This way I can just go for a redirect attack right away and try to get us, Dragon Dance up. I have Scrafty and Thundurus in the back. Pretty clear choices here, I think. I mean, Excadrill you could make a case for, but it's just against, like, 3 water types of Terrakion. I don't know. It's, like, at most it can get maybe 1 Earthquake off and not do very much else. Heatran here would be good to beat the Scizor, but otherwise not very important in this matchup, so I'm going to not bring Heatran. Even though I got baited into bringing it in yesterday's episode, this time I'm just going to keep it on the bench, and we'll see how it goes. Matchup is definitely in my opponent's favor, though, in my opinion, in terms of Pokemon choice. I think Rain in general is kind of hard to beat with this team just because none of the Pokemon really resist water type attacks very well other than the Salamence, so I think Salamence is going to be pretty key here, but Jorge is going to lead with Politoed and Ludicolo immediately against my Salamence and Clefairy, which is alright. I mean, it's not the best, but it's also not the worst. I was kind of anticipating this lead matchup, and let's see. So Intimidate goes before the Drizzle, which is very good knowledge, meaning that he's not Choice Scarf Politoed. And that's definitely viable information. So, on this first turn, I could just go for a Protect with Salamence and a Thunder Wave onto Ludicolo. But he might just go for a Fake Out onto Clefairy and maybe like an Ice Beam as well. Or I could actually Protect Salamence and switch Clefairy out into Thundurus. I don't really like that play. Let's see. Based off what my opponent has, I would guess he's got Swampert in the back and maybe Scizor as the last one. So I'm gonna Mega Evolve. You know what? I think I'm gonna go for the safe Protect here. Do I want to Protect with Clefairy this first turn? Yeah, you know what? I'm actually just gonna go for the Protect here. Burn a turn of Rain in doing so and see what he decides to do. I could have went for the Protect T-Wave play, but the thing is, if you were to double target the Clefairy with like a Fake Out and a Skull, that'd actually take a fair amount of damage. And with Clefairy, you really want to not take any unnecessary damage. So I'm just gonna go with the double Protect this first turn to, block out the Fake Out obviously and see what he goes for. He did go for the Fake Out onto Clefairy and the Scald onto Clefairy. Yeah, okay, wow. So ended up being an alright play. I mean, it would have been really risky to have gone for an attack, for example, with Salamence, but now I can go for the safe. I mean, I can just go for a return immediately. And I think I'm going to go for that. Yeah, I'm just going to return Ludicolo and go for the Follow Me here. He's probably going to double Scald that slot, but that's fine. If I can knock out Ludicolo, that would be really great, especially for the Thunders I have in the back, because Politoed confirmed that it's not Choice Scarfed, which is really important knowledge. So If anything, you know, when Poly isn't Choice Scarf, it tends to be maybe Damp Rock or Citrus Berry, or Lefties even. But yep, we're going to see a Scald go onto Clefairy. Doesn't even bring me under 50%, which is really impressive. And that return actually knocks out the Ludicolo, so that's really good. Knocked out one of the bigger threats to my team. And now I do outspeed the Politoed with Salamence. And he does go for the double Scald accordingly, so smart plays by my opponent, not walking into my Follow Me trap. But unfortunately, no burn from my opponent, so I actually leave the turn unscathed. Terrakion comes in here, but that's really good for me, especially with the Scrafty in the back. So, let's see. I'm actually going to go for the Protect here with Salamence. I could actually just switch out to Scrafty. I'm wondering if my opponent's going to predict that and Scald that slot. So the question here is, do I want to conserve my Clefairy? Or... yeah, I mean, I can conserve the Clefairy by switching out into Scrafty, but then I risk taking a Scald in that slot. Or I could just protect and let him KO my Clefairy, get a free switch into Scrafty, which I'm leaning towards right now just because I don't want to deal with the flinch kind of factoring. I could also go for a Follow Me. No. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go... oops. Hold on, make sure. I'm going to make the safe play here. I'm going to protect, and... I'm just going to go for a Thunder... actually, I guess I'll go for the Moonblast here onto Politoed to get some chip damage in case somehow Clefairy gets an attack off. Not expecting it to, but let's see. Yep, he's just going to go for the Rock Slide. You know, I'm just playing this as safely as possible. It's fine, I just don't want to predict to somehow burn the Scrafty I've got in the back. So that knocks out Clefairy, but that does mean a free switch into the Scrafty I have in the back. And he did just go for the Rock Slide Ice Beam play, so looking back, it actually would have been fine to switch out. But... wasn't really a risk I was willing to take, and that's fine. So I did get Scrafty in for free, get the Intimidate off, which is great, obviously, especially against the Terrakion, because, you know, the Mega Salamence is pretty bulky, so if he doesn't flinch me this turn, I think he'll be really good. I did get a free Fake Out here. Question is, do I want to Dragon Dance? Yeah, I think I'm going to Dragon Dance here and go for the Fake Out onto Politoed. Yeah, he's kind of got a Rock Slide here with Terrakion, basically, and that way I get a free... Dragon Dance. If he close combat Scrafty, even better for me, because then I can just KO him with a return. Oh! Ooh, I walked into that one, didn't I? As he goes for the Quick Guard. Nicely done. So I get the Dragon Dance up, but I'm going to be taking Ice Beam to my face, and that's probably actually going to knock me out. So I messed up quite badly there. Let's see. I am pretty bulky, so if he's like... yeah, wow. Look at that bulk. That bulk actually allowed me to survive with, not relative ease, but a decent amount. So I do get my Salamence to +1 now, which is great, obviously. Interesting. So I could go straight for the return. Wow, that was a really clutch survival there. I needed that for sure. But let's think this through. So I could protect here. I mean, if the Terrakion's not Sash, then return knocks it out, but I really don't know what item it has, and that's not a risk I'm willing to take, to be honest. I mean, the safe play I think here is just to go for a Protect. I could also Roost here. Do I want to Roost? No, I'm going to Protect, and go for the Drain Punch onto Terrakion. Oh, he switches out. Okay. Good play by him there. Let's see what's coming in. Maybe Swampert? Yeah, gonna be Swampert, which is actually problematic. If I returned that slot, it would have been really good for me, but a very good play by my opponent just to get rid of the Intimidate there. He actually protects with Politoed. Okay, that's fine. So I get a free Drain Punch off, but still, it's gonna be really difficult to win this one, I think, with Swampert in the back. Do a decent amount there. Rain actually stops. Oh, hello. Okay. Well, that just makes this match more interesting, doesn't it? I wasn't counting my rain turns accordingly there, but that is very, very good for me here. Now he's really got to switch out Politoed if he wants to make efficient use of that Swampert. So I wish I roosted that last turn now. I'm leaning towards doubling up on Poly here. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. He's probably going to switch out into Terrakion. Oh, he's not. Okay. Well, that's good news for me here. We'll see how much if +1 return can knock out Politoed. I mean, I'm guessing that means Swampert didn't protect here. Yeah, it didn't. So, can return knock out the Politoed. Ooh, it can. Nice. Okay, cool. as he's going to probably go for an Ice-type attack. Yep, into the Salamence. That's going to knock me out. I'm going to get another Drain Punch off. It's going to come down, I think, to whether he flinches me with that Terrakion with Rock Slide, since Scrafty does relatively well here, but of course he can get a close combat off now that he's not intimidated. So I bring Swampert under 50% with the Drain Punch, but now I bring in Thundurus, and it's going to be a really close finish to the game, I think. Yeah, I totally got caught off guard by that Quick Guard. I'm kind of embarrassed I walk into it, but that's why he moves like that, because it just catches you off guard. Let's see. So I think I'm definitely locking myself into Grass Knot here, no doubt. I mean, I'm Scarfed too. Now that could really be helpful. Rock Slide doesn't knock me out. Yeah, you know what? Because I'm Scarfed, I'm actually just going to Grass Knot Swampert and Drain Punch Terrakion. Yeah, he doesn't expect it. Cool. So we'll see what Terrakion goes for here. It's going to be a really close one, but Swampert gets knocked out here. If he goes for Rock Slide, then I win the game for sure. If he close combats, he's still in it. He's going to Rock Slide, so as long as I don't flinch here, I am 100% good. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit dicey. Oh, is that a crit, though? Oh, no. Okay. He doesn't flinch me. I get the Drain Punch off, so it's going to come down to whether close combat can knock out this Scrafty. Oh, this is going to be so close. Yeah, there was no way that would have KO'd without the crit, so then I could have just Grass Knotted the following turn, so I'm kind of upset about that. But, yeah, that's Pokemon for you. He's definitely going to go for the close combat here. Let's see if it's enough to KO me. Come on, Scrafty. Can you hang on? Woohoo! Wow! This team is just getting clutch victories after victories. Scrafty hangs on with 4 HP, gets that Drain Punch off. Going to be enough to take out the Terrakion and seal up the win. So, oh my goodness, another really intense battle, and I mean, you can't really ask for better battles when you're using a really cool team. Like, I love these close games, and that was against a great opponent as well, and a Mega Swampert of all things, but it was really clutch that the rain expired right away, and now looking back, I'm kind of glad I went for that double Protect play. I think my opponent showed his prediction skill right away from that first turn, though, you know, predicting me to go for the Protect. He played very well around the Clefairy, I'd say, as, you know, he basically rendered it useless as I went for the Follow Me. He smartly double targeted it. There were some points where, you know, I think if I switch Clefairy out into Scrafty as I try to save it, I actually need to clear my battle video queue there. If I switched out Clefairy into Scrafty, it would have given me a somewhat more of an advantageous position, and in the late game there, you know, the Quick Guard was really clutch on my opponent's end, but fortunately, because I'm using a bulkier Mega Salamence, I was actually able to hang on and get a Dragon Dance off, which was pretty important in terms of getting a knockout into that Politoed afterwards. So, really close battle there, but in the end, able to clutch it out there with the Thundurus and the Scrafty, as Scrafty was able to hang on with 4 HP despite that critical hit going my way, or against me. So, I'm really happy about that game, as we're going to jump onto the ladder now with a rating of 1820. So, clutch win there, and we'll see if we can pick up another one. So far, the team has actually not lost this week. I think that's a testament to Lycor's team. We find Pikachu with a rating of 1875 from Canada. Wow, haven't seen a opponent rated that high in a long time, so what an interesting team here, too. I mean, I think I actually played him a while back, not on Road to Ranked, and he beat me with this team. It's quite unique in the sense that you look at the Pokemon, and a lot of these are eccentric Pokemon choices, which is why I'm really excited to feature this team. He's got Gardevoir, Salamence, Magnezone, Crobat, Arcanine, and Mamoswine, and none of these are Pokemon that are used too much in VGC. Mega Gardevoir's seen a lot of usage recently, especially with a bunch of popular players in Japan and Ray Rizzo using it, so pretty interesting to see that. I think Crobat's always a threat because of Inner Focus and its fast speed. It almost always gets Tailwind up, which is a huge problem in general, so I don't know, scary matchup in just to say the least. What do I want to lead with? I'm leaning actually towards Thundurus and Scrafty because I can fake out Crobat's partner and go straight for a Volt Switch to knock it out. Actually, I'm Scarf too, which should, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think Scarf's Thundurus can help me out so much here. Excadrill can actually be quite good here with its Earthquakes, but do I want to bring it? Is it worth bringing it over the others? Let's see. I feel like Heatran might be a bit better here just because of its ability to wall Gardevoir, though. I don't know, Excadrill is actually quite solid here. It's just, it can get intimidated by the Arcanine, which I'm not particularly fond of, and it can get potentially Will-O-Wisp as well. Though, I don't know, it could actually be pretty helpful here. Yeah, you know what, I'm actually going with Salamence and Excadrill here. I haven't brought an Excadrill as well either in the previous game, so maybe it's time for it to see the light of day, not day of light. As you guys pointed out in yesterday's episode. Sometimes when I commented, I just like make all these silly errors, so you guys have to bear with me, but that was pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, Excadrill is actually a bit more viable here, I think, because of Rock Slide, which can hit the the Dragonite and the Crobat, though I might have to watch out for a potential weakness policy on the Dragonite, which is probably what I'm fearing the most. But I'm going to lock in. Let's see if the Scarf Thundurus can catch my opponent off guard, because I think he's probably going to want to lead with the Crobat here to set up a Tailwind. So if that is the case, Scarf Thundurus can knock it out right away. And yeah, I mean, in my previous teams, which I've used Scarf Thundurus, hasn't really done this well, but I think it fits very, very nicely onto Lycor's team. So we're going to see the Crobat on Gardevoir leads, which is quite fantastic for me here. I get the Intimidate off, which is good against Crobat potentially, if, you know, he's running something like Brave Bird. Gardevoir doesn't have Trace, so probably has something like Telepathy to just, you know, prevent itself from getting knocked out from its opponent's attack, or its partner's attacks, like Earthquake from that Mamoswine. Let's see. I'm actually just going to Thunderbolt here. I don't really feel the need to Volt Switch. I'm going to Fake Out. We'll see if Crobat actually has Protect. He's going to Switch Out, which is really clever. I would guess Mamoswine's going to come in here. Yeah, well done there. Excellent read. And I kind of walked into that one. And it is Mega Gardevoir, to no one's surprise. So that is not good. Really bad, actually, especially since I didn't go for the Volt Switch, so he's going to go for the Protector of Gardevoir, so really ideal turn for my opponent there, and I really do wish I kind of predicted that, I think, but it was a tough prediction to make, I think. Really smart board positioning by my opponent. This is really problematic, actually. What can I even do to get out of this one? So he's definitely going to be Hyper Voicing. I guess I can switch into Excadrill, go for a Thunderbolt, but I want to conserve the Excadrill Sash, that's the thing. But you know, I think Scrafty's too important because I kind of need to get another Fake Out, and wow, I really set myself up for this one. But that's how much momentum matters in VGC. Like, I went from a great position to a terrible one. He's gonna, no, Thunderous Teeth, revealing its Scarf, gonna go for that Thunderbolt. He's gonna go straight for the Icicle Crash. Oh wow, I avoided that. That's fortunate there. As he is gonna go for that Hyper Voice. Not knocking me out. Okay, so that miss actually allows me to stay in this game because I'm guessing he's Choice Scarfed. And let's see, because of that, I'm gonna go for another Thunderbolt. The thing is, what does Excadrill want to do here? I could go for the Iron Head, but he could, you know, obviously just Hyper Voice and Icicle Crash into that Excadrill slot. And I wasn't expecting that miss, but obviously I'm not going to complain about it. It does keep me in this match even. You can also Protect with Gardevoir here and go for an Icicle Crash. Thunderbolt did a lot of damage. It might be a damage roll here. I mean, so I could just go for the Thunderbolt and Iron Head play. You know what? I need a big plays to get back into this one. Oh, he's not Scarf Mamoswine. Okay. I was kind of anticipating it since he outsped Gardevoir, but I guess not. So I'm just going to get a Thunderbolt off here. Is it enough to knock out Gardevoir? So close, but not enough. Oh, is he Trick Rooming? No. I guess he's just really slow then. Interesting. Yeah, so he is able to pick up the KO there. Good turn for him. I'm going to bring in Scrafty here for sure. And, wow, I wasn't expecting Excadrill to be faster, but that's good to know. I mean, I could go for the safe Fake Out onto Mamoswine Rock Slide play here. I'm wondering if Excadrill actually outspeeds the Mamoswine now. Yeah, I'm definitely going to Fake Out Mamoswine. You know what? I'm just going to go for the... kind of want to Iron Head, but... I mean, I can't risk Gardevoir going for a Hyper Voice. I'm going to go for the Rock Slide. Let's see if he anticipates that. He's going to switch it out, which is fine. I mean, Rock Slide does a fair amount to anything that's coming in. It's going to be that Arcanine, actually, so smartly getting the Intimidate off as Shiny Arcanine with that yellow/golden hint. Gets the Intimidate off against both of my physical attackers, which is obviously fantastic for my opponent. He's been one step ahead of me, I think, for the majority of this game. I haven't really been making big predictions to try to get back into this one, and as you see there, that was a really good play. Also, going for the safe Protect, wondering how fast his Arcanine is, as I do get the Rock Slide off. Missing it there, but, you know, can't really complain. I was fairly fortunate. So, I think my only chance here is if Excadrill's faster, so I'm going to switch out and go for the Earthquake here. And if I'm not faster, it's basically GG, because he can just get a Hyper Voice. Might be a pretty quick 4-0 here, actually, if Arcanine's faster. Let's see. I think Mega Gardevoir was really an issue here, and ultimately, I think bringing Heatran might have actually been the call. He's going to go for the Extreme Speed, but might not KO me after this Intimidate. Let's see. Oh, wow, I hang on with 8 HP. Nice, and he's Life Orb, too. So that's actually exactly what I needed to get back into this game. I do get the Earthquake off, of course. I am intimidated, so probably going to knock him out. But, oh, wow, I do get the knockout. Was that a crit? Yeah, it was. So RNG at least keeping me in this match after falling behind pretty badly. And that's really, really, really good for me here. Very fortunate, don't, like, very, very fortunate. So he's gonna bring in Mamoswine and the Crobat. Okay. Now what do we do? I really actually want to just Mega Evolve, return Crobat, and Rock Slide. I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, if I can knock out Crobat, then Scrafty wins against Mamoswine, so that's the win condition I have observed. I don't think he has... I mean, I'm curious as to whether he has Ice Shard or not. Because this is a bulkier Mega Salamence, I don't think Ice Shard will actually knock me out, though. I haven't seen its item yet, which is kind of problematic. So actually, looking back, it might have been smarter to just switch Excadrill onto Scrafty, but the thing is, I'm still behind, and if he sets up a Tailwind with Crobat, that'll surely be game for me. So if I could get the surprise knockout onto Crobat here, I can win, and, you know, the downside is if I protect it and switch it out into Scrafty, he could set up a Tailwind, and that would be bad. He actually does go straight for the Ice Shard here, but he targets Excadrill. Okay. So actually switching on to Scrafty might have been a fine play, but let's see what the Crobat goes for. He does go for the Super Fang, so that is going to put me in KO range from my Ice Fang. Return gets off. Let's see if it can knock out Crobat. Ah, falling short. So that's rough. But I'm going to bring in Scrafty here. I get a free Fake Out onto Mamoswine. Whew, this is really, really close. Now, I think when I battled this opponent in the past, he actually had Roost on the Crobat. And if he does have that, that's very problematic. Because I can't just knock him out with the return. Could also Fake Out return Mamoswine. I mean, he revealed Protect though, and he also has Ice Shard, so Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, Earthquake, Protect being its moveset. Could also Roost here. I don't know though, does this Crobat has Roost? That's the main question. I wonder if he has Brave Bird also. Okay, let's say he has Roost. If I Fake Out Mamoswine, I mean, he's probably going to Protect with Mamoswine, like that's the best play. You know, I think I need to make a big play here. I'm going to go for the return onto Crobat. I mean, Fake Out's so safe here, but I think you're definitely going to Protect with Mamoswine if you're my opponent. So I'm going to go for a big play. I'm going to go for the knockoff onto Crobat. Oh, he went for the Quick Guard. Didn't anticipate that either. Nicely done there. So Ice Shard's actually going to just knock me out there, and it blocks my Fake Out. If knockoff can knock out Crobat, I can win this one. But probably not since I got rid of the Citrus Berry already. Yeah, gonna fall short here. Well, I think that's gonna be game. I'm gonna go for the Drain Punch onto Mamoswine. I mean, I do feel like my opponent deserves to win this one. Yeah, he's gonna go for the Protect, so I also walked into that. So I guess let's see what Crobat goes for. Yeah, he does have Roost, okay. So, how could I have even won this one? Protecting Salamence, Drain Punching Mamoswine? Maybe? But with the Roost on Crobat and the fact that I was able to take that return, he's going to be able to clean this one up. I think if I had Double Edge on this one, I could have won, but I still think on this team, bulky Salamence makes a lot more sense. So he's going to go for the Super Fang onto Scrafty, bring me down to 86 HP. Also going to go for Icicle Crash. Let's see, that's probably going to be just short of knocking me out. Well, we haven't seen its item yet, but it's not Life Orb, so I'm guessing it's Focus Sash. So I hang on with 40 HP, I get a Drain Punch off, but, you know, at this rate, with the Roost on Crobat, I actually have no way of taking it out, so it's probably going to be game here. As he can just go for another double target. So unless he, like, I mean, I don't think he has Brave Bird. Let's see. He's going to go for another Protect, which is smart, you know. No reason to. Not since Crobat's so bulky, but I really have not many options here. Super Fang here is going to bring me down to 46 HP. So this consequent turn, he can just knock me out. Very nicely played on my opponent's end. The fact that I was even in this game was only solely because of RNG, you know, being able to hang around. And I think that first turn was really important. But he actually does miss the Super Fang. So if Earthquake doesn't knock me out here and he doesn't have a way to... Well, let's see. Well, this is kind of funny now, right? Because if he doesn't have Brave Bird with that Crobat, he actually can't knock me out. So it might come down to timer question mark. I mean, that was kind of the thing I had to go, not had to go for, like my one way of was him missing it, I guess. But I don't know, there's still not really a way to win this one. I guess I'll let him use all his Super Fangs first so I can go for Drain Punches consequently. And I mean, the fact he's going for Super Fang means he doesn't have an attack like Brave Bird. Super Fang can't knock me out either, so... I mean, ultimately, I think I'm going to end up losing this one based off the fact that he has Roost, and if you were to come down to timer, like, it would... I don't have enough recovery, so I think I'm actually just going to end up forfeiting. I'm going to play it out for maybe a turn, or just see how much I can do here. But yeah, I don't think there's much I can really do. It's not like Snarls are really doing much, unless he were to actually run out of PP. But I don't think that's really going to be happening. So let's see. Yeah, with timer being a factor in this game, like, I'm surprised he's not going for Roost earlier on, because if I were to, I guess even a crit wouldn't do enough. Yeah, not even. Though he does have the Roost, so he gets rid of Flying type. I can go for the Drain Punch. Yeah. This is kind of funny to me, but I think Crobat's obviously, I mean, like, I'm not going to make you guys sit through 20 minutes of this. I'm actually just going to end up forfeiting because there's really no way for me to win this one. You know, how the game ends up working is timer, right? Because at the end, whoever has more HP is going to end up winning. So Crobat is definitely going to have more HP because he can just rest. So I'm going to respect that. My opponent outplayed me for the majority of the match, and I'm going to forfeit here because I really do think he deserves the win here. Especially with that quick guard on Crobat. I mean, shoutouts to him for having probably one of the coolest teams I've seen in VGC yet. You know, you don't see Crobat very often, but I think that was probably one of the best uses of Crobat I've ever seen in VGC. You know, paired with Mamoswine, great anti-meta pick, given that it checks Landorus T and Thundurus and whatnot very well. And he deserves that win. And, you know, I think that first turn really set the pace. Like, I put myself into a huge hole, and then he outplayed me with Protects out a bunch of points too. And that quick guard obviously catching me off guard. Should have anticipated that as well, but honestly, just totally out of mind fart, like, Crobat even got quick guard, and that's the thing, you don't see Crobat very often, so often you forget those things. But wow, two really awesome games once again, and I think we're just getting matched up with awesome opponents and awesome teams and cool Pokemon, so that's really, really fun. And even though we lose our first game, you know, so far 5-0 with the team, that's nothing to scoff at either, and that was a really close end game in the last one there as well. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it as I did. This week has been really awesome. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed it, and I shall see you tomorrow. Alright, peace. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to check out Clash Tournaments, my sponsor on YouTube and Twitter. They offer some of the best Super Smash Bros. Content out there, and I'm super grateful for them. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch as you see in the boxes below. See you guys soon!